And a good afternoon, everybody. Chris McDonald with you on this Wednesday afternoon, the 17th day of June, 2026. Grateful to see everybody. We are not going to keep you long this afternoon, but we do want to come on and update you. We've been doing this a little bit this year, more and often, and we plan to do it as we move further into the year with the hurricane season upon us and things that are going on today warranted our attention. This is we're going to probably do this again this afternoon around 6, just to update the situation. But this is a developing situation, but we have got a moderate and it may even be upgraded here later this afternoon to a high risk area of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes, large hail, winds over 80 miles an hour. That's hurricane force in many cases, and it's going to affect a wide swath of people today. And we wanted to just give you a heads up and get right to the maps. Now, as of this minute, we've got a couple of little websites that we have found to sort of help us do this, so we won't make a complete fool of ourselves. But this is what we call our tornado tracker. As of right now, there is no warnings out, active tornado warnings in the country. There are some severe thunderstorm warnings. Even down south near my honey, when she's in southeast Alabama this afternoon, and some of that is from the results of Arthur. We're going to talk about Arthur here in a minute, because we've also got a tropical storm. And if you see that area of yellow down there near Louisiana and Mississippi, that is a slight risk area of severe weather that is possibly going to be affecting that region of the country. And then you can just move that east for tomorrow. And there's going to be a tornado threat in southeast Alabama, southwest Georgia, all of North Florida. And the tornado threat will go as far north as Atlanta tomorrow because of Arthur. And he formed this afternoon off the southeast Texas coast. He's a low pressure cell, but they're expecting him to be named our first tropical storm of the Atlantic season. And he's going to move northeast, probably go through Louisiana, Mississippi, but the worst of the weather of those storms are always on the right side. But I wanted to really come on this afternoon to give just about a 15-20 minute update, just to give you a heads up. If you live in Missouri, Kansas City, St. Louis, eastern Iowa, if you live in southwestern, southern Wisconsin, if you live in southern Michigan, and we've got a lot of dear listeners that live up in that area, all the state of Illinois, all of Indiana, most of Ohio, and even northern Kentucky this afternoon, you are under the gun for some very volatile weather. To be frank with you, it's out of season. This usually would take place April and May. I shared with we have a little Bible study in the mornings, and I shared with them this morning that these kind of events that we've got going on today probably happen one time a year, maybe twice if you have a weird year of severe weather. And severe weather has been down. I know it may not seem that way to the Midwest. But today is one of those days that you probably will not get but once a year. And we've got a level 4 out of 5 severe weather threat for intense tornadoes, hail, 75 mile an hour or more winds. Some of these wind gusts could reach to 100 miles an hour in some of these storms that are already beginning to fire up. And I just want to go over this with you right quick. I'm just going to take some of the outlay off, and let's look at the convective watches. That area, let me see if this will let me do it. It's probably not going to let me do it. So I'm going to just go it like this. I've got it outlined here better. But I want to just look at this map without the overlay of the other things on it. And this is the convective outlook for today. If you're in that dark red area, and that's just northwest of Indianapolis into central Illinois, and they've actually increased that a little bit in size this afternoon, and there are rumblings with the National Severe Storms Forecast Center, Storm Prediction Center, that they're going to maybe even include that in a high-risk area. It is probably about a 7 out of 10 chance that you're going to see a dangerous, intense tornado or 2, maybe 3 today in that region. And this is going to be a tornado outbreak. If you live in the orange area, it's a moderate area or an enhanced region. In other words, it's slightly greater than slight. and it's level 3, and then the yellow is level 4, and then the green area that you see, that this was early this morning, and they've actually increased this region to include most of northern Kentucky as well. You can see the difference there, and they're expecting again. These are not your little pop-up tornadoes, spin down, that we get in the south sometimes, and they dissipate and they move on. These are going to be long-tracked tornadoes. They're going to stay on the ground. These are the ones that usually can kill people. All tornadoes can kill people, but these are very, very dangerous to property, to life. And we encourage you this afternoon, if you're in the Midwest, to stay alert to your weather conditions. There's already a tornado watch out for central Illinois. There's likely going to be another one issued downstream in Indiana, possibly western Ohio. Missouri, you're next. And I don't believe, I'd be shocked if there's not, but when we get this kind of weather, they sometimes issue what we call a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch, which means that there is a enhanced danger to these storms, and that's what we're facing this afternoon. And again, this is in the middle of June, which makes it even more weird that this is going on today. And we're trying to give you a heads up in this early part of the day that it's coming. It will probably start ramping up around 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, Central Time, and then the intensity is just going to increase. I want to show you something, and this may help you put this in perspective. I'm going to just take this map off for right now. We've got something that the weather forecasters use, and it's called the tornado, the significant tornado hazard loop. And I'm going to bring this up because it's really interesting. This is just to show you the dynamics that are in place. And this is at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm just going to roll this loop. I'm going to get myself out of the way so we can do this. I want you to watch what happens. It's in western Iowa right now, this area down here. And let me do this. I didn't mean to click that on. Let me do this for you real quick. Goodness gracious, come on, Chris McDonald. What are you doing, son? What are you doing? What are you doing? I just probably deleted it. It's what I did. Let me go back and try this again. This is, give me 1 minute here. Give me 1 minute here. I want to bring this chart up because this is very important to see. Significant tornado parameters. There we go. There we go. Let me bring this back up because it's worth looking at this, because especially for you folks in Indiana, I'm very concerned about you guys tonight, and also Illinois. But if you go up here to the Midwest, and I'm just going to click on this in northern Illinois. If you see that area down there, let me get my whiteboard out. If you see this area down here, and if we could get some of the, let me see if we can bring this down here. Hang on 1 second. Computers are always great until they don't work. Just give me 1 minute. We're going to get our bearings together here. We're going to figure out how to do all this stuff one day, like the pros do it. But if you'll come down here and you see that dark area right there in western and southwestern Indiana, or Iowa, I should say, this area right here, that is showing you a lot of instability and the parameters that lead to violent, damaging, long-track tornadoes. And as you can see, that area is confined right now to the southwest part of Iowa, and that is where the main threat later on this afternoon, when this first round of storms go through, the atmosphere is going to regenerate. And I would say in the next hour, hour and a half, you folks in southwest Iowa, southern Iowa, western Illinois, northern Missouri, I would be on the lookout for some very dangerous weather. And but I want you to watch what happens to this in just a matter of hours. I'm going to try to take my whiteboard off and then come up here and show you this. I'm going to just run the zoom here. Let's see here. Where can I get the zoom at? let's do this, and we'll animate it. Forecast loop. I want you to watch this right here, and I want you to watch what happens as we move this on. You can begin to see this area just explode by that's 5, 7, 9. That's a few hours. Look at this. All these are soundings of the atmosphere that tell the forecasters that this area is going to be in for a very violent afternoon. And you can see it. I'm going to just keep going with it and bring it down. It won't let me do this without it showing, but you can see all the reds and the yellows and the instability in the atmosphere, central Illinois. And then later on in the evening, as we get more into the evening hours, this goes even deeper into Indiana, and it will start subsiding later tonight. But this area of the country right here, folks, is going to be in for a very dangerous afternoon. That's why we're on. I wouldn't even bother to come on if we didn't think this was bad. But this is this area over here where you see me moving. That's where that little longitude, latitude box is. I'm sort of running around. But this area right in here, all these areas, the darker the blues, the more instability. But this region right here, and I'll just draw a little map, and then I'll take this off. But this region right here, in this middle part of the country, right through here today, you need to be making some plans to have your tornado preparedness, safety ready to go, and so forth. And I just wanted to show you that. We don't show that very often, but the dynamics are in the atmosphere. Now, these storms that you see already going on right now, this is the storm reports for today. There's already been some wind damage. There's been 52 reports of bad weather, mainly wind damage in southeast Iowa, western Illinois, a few around the Great Lakes. This is this area of the country right now. That red area is probably where the next tornado watch is coming. I wouldn't doubt if that's not a particularly dangerous watch that will come in. That's the only weather watch that's out right now. There we go right there. The tornado watch is for western Illinois, a little bit of Missouri, and you can see that. And as we told you a while ago, as of right now, there's really there's no weather warnings in that watch, which is good news. So these thunderstorms are not quite producing the tornadoes just yet. But that's some flood areas up there. But just be aware that this afternoon is going to get very volatile in this part of the country. And I'll just bring this up. There's the updated convective look, and you can see that red area has gone all the way over into Indianapolis right there. That's a moderate risk. And then you've got this area down here. I'd be concerned in northern Kentucky and all. Now, I want to talk, well, I've pretty much covered the Midwest situation. I want to deal right now with the Gulf Coast, because you've put people around the Gulf Coast, and this includes Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, northern Florida, the Panhandle, this area down here. Starting later this afternoon, Arthur is down here where I'm doing my little Googling right here, and he is expected to move northeast across this region, maybe more of a northeast. It's probably going to, his path is going to be more like that. It's probably going to come up western Louisiana, western Mississippi. On these landfalling storms, whether they're tropical storms or hurricanes, the worst weather is always to the north and always to the east. In other words, that right front quadrant. And that's going to put this area of the country in the bullseye tomorrow for potentially tornadic activity. And it'd be tropical storms, very heavy rain, likely severe thunderstorms that will accompany these storms, and a lot of wind. Not so much hail, but you can get some hail in some of the stronger storms and updrafts. But the main thing is the atmosphere will be spinning because of this tropical system that has come on land. And tomorrow, it would be this area of the country that will be under the gun. So if you live in southeast Alabama, North Florida, southwest Georgia, and this really is not even southwest Georgia, this line that I really should be drawing is further north. It's really this whole region of the southeast tomorrow. You need to be alert starting tonight. And you folks in Mississippi and Louisiana, in this area right through here, that's a slight risk area. So they're expecting these storms to start coming on shore later tonight. And the threat for tornadoes are going to increase right through here as well. So got a rough day of weather ahead, and again, we will check in back with you this afternoon. This is our 2:30 update. We'll monitor things, and if things pop and start happening, we'll come back on probably before we go on our Bible study tonight. Our Bible studies today, just Faith Day on our network. But this was, I felt like, important enough to give you a heads up. Now, I want to just go over a little weather wisdom. Tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms to develop in and close to the watch area. Those watches last probably 5 to 6 hours. Won't be surprised if we don't have a few particularly dangerous situation watches. Those are not issued all the time, but the atmosphere is ripe for big tornadoes. These are not going to be your garden variety storms. These are going to be long tracked, violent EF4, EF3s, EF2s. Those are winds 120 up to 170 miles an hour. I wouldn't doubt if a discrete supercell gets free of the complex that we could possibly have an EF5. I mean, it's that kind of day for that. But you can pretty much expect some EF2, EF3, possibly EF4 strength storms today. Those are storms that can take houses off foundations. So that's the way the atmosphere is playing. If you hear a warning, whether it's a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning, that is a signal for you to go to a safe place, the most interior, lower level of your home. Stay there, put something over your head, and hunker down and pray. Inner bathroom, interior bathroom's good. Stay away from windows. Do not be a spectator going out trying to photograph these things. These things will be very dangerous. The weather itself will be dangerous today. And as I said, I don't do this often, as you know. And we're going to start doing more weather updates as we get into the latter part of the year. I sort of, Marvin Phillips, my buddy in Kansas, said, I'm shocked you wasn't on last week because we had all this kind of weather last week in Kansas and Missouri, and y'all did, and there was some devastating tornadoes already in Illinois. I was talking to Natalie Corbin this morning, and I told her, I said, man, Indiana has gotten racked, and they have just come through some bad storms this year. They've had a string of this for the last several months. Missouri has, Illinois has, Arkansas. We've been spared down south, but our blessing of being spared may be coming to an end. So it's going to be a very dangerous day along the Gulf Coast and in the Midwest. Please be safe out there. We'll keep you posted. Check with your local weather office, your weather warnings. If we see that there's an outbreak of something going on, we will be back on this afternoon on the news side. This is on the news network, probably around 5:30 or so, 6. We'll check and see what's going on. I expect this to start really popping here in the next hour and a half because the conditions are right for it, and once this atmosphere regenerates, these storms are going to explode, and they can produce large hail. And let me just say this about lightning: these storms are going to have a lot of lightning with them. Lightning can kill. Lightning's the second worst killer of nature, and don't be playing around outside. And I don't have to tell most of you this, but hunker down. Take this seriously. I got youngins that think their dad's a little nutty when he gets excited about the weather, and I tell them bad weather's coming. They always laugh at me, and I always tell them when I'm calling some of them, when tornadoes are coming at them, I said, just entertain your dad, just humor me, stay in touch with the weather, okay? And as they've gotten older, they've realized that Dad wasn't so crazy. They understand the weather can get very violent sometimes. So please take my advice this afternoon, humor me, stay in touch with the weather, and be on top of things, okay? Listen, thank you for joining me. I'll be back later this afternoon with an update. Stay with the McFiles. We'll keep you updated, but be safe in the upper Midwest. And as of right now, no tornado warnings, which is good, but that's going to change rapidly here in the next few hours. Please be careful out there, and Godspeed, and God bless. Thank you.